So, good morning, everyone, and welcome for the first class on tribology related to our module one. We have dealt related to the concepts, what do you mean by tribology, and the syllabus related to our course, right? So now we have to start up with the actual syllabus, material, and course related to our tribology subject. So I just described you every module what it deals about in yesterday's class. So let us dig in depth within the module one right away from today's class. So I will just present my slide, just 2 seconds. Please see that you do log in to the Google Meet through your official email ID only. I'll be creating the Google Classroom hopefully by today. See that all of you will register by using your college email ID only. If you have any discrepancy in using the college email ID, kindly speak to the in charge and get it rectified. But see that you register through your official email ID. Is the screen visible? Hello? Hello? Are the PPT slides visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. So let us start with module one. As I told you, our module one deals with introduction to tribology. So as per the VTU course, your introduction to tribology deals with the historical background, the practical importance of tribology, and then we come into lubricants, the type of lubricants, what are its application properties, how do we measure the properties of lubricants with effect to temperature, pressure, and how do we identify the grades of lubricants and how do we select the lubricants. So all these things are studied in our module 1. So based on that, this will be our overview or the outline for the module 1, what I will be discussing with you people. So you know what you mean by friction, lubrication, bearings, everything. But how did this tribology emerge? What was the need for the subject tribology together to come when they were already established with different areas of sectors like friction, wear, lubrication, and bearing? So that you have to understand first. So that we will deal up with our historical background. So what happens in historical background, basically, you should understand. Mainly, the origin of the historical background came into picture in the era of 1964. Why they identified the losses which came across due to lack of knowledge related to friction and wear when the machine component moves on. So this realization of the losses which are coming in any product due to this friction and wear was realized in one of the conference which was held in UK on lubrication in iron and steel works. So this conflict and ideas which came into the mind of the people at the conference realized further the UK government to make some changes so that this could be overcome. So after this realization, what the committee people in under UK minister did is they investigated the education sector, research sector, and they identified the industries which were working related to the lubrication part. So what is the need exactly in the industries where they were lacking? So they just identified those. So based on those, so the researchers who are interested in this area were assigned with some grants, with funds, so that they will proceed further to identify how to overcome this problem. So based on that, some curriculum was also built in education. So that right from the beginning until the industry level, there will be a flow of study between the things, how to manipulate, how to fine tune, how to set up the problems which are there due to lack of knowledge in the area of friction, where related to the machine components. So once they did with this, later what happened is the committee made many deliberations and finally concluded that only lubrication engineering which is in existence cannot provide the complete solution to deal with all the problems related to either friction or wear which is coming out into any machine component. As a result, an interdisciplinary approach she is necessary in order to get all these problems solved. So they identified they need some concept of solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, partially chemistry, as well as material science is essential to overcome the problems which are faced in this lubrication based industries. So after doing so much of research, R&D, analysis, by the year 1966, the word tribology was coined by the UK people. So they identified the problem in the year 1964 and they were able to rectify the need or the lack which was there in friction and wear of machine components by establishing a new word called tribology. So this is related to the historical background. So once they coined the word tribology in the year 1966, then they started to use these concepts in the terms of basic mechanism, basics, and solutions related to the interfacial behavior. So what do you mean by this? Basic mechanisms governing interfacial behavior, basic theories quantifying interfacial mechanism, solutions to friction and wear problems. That means to say, once the word tribology was established, then they started magnifying these segments and establishing these are the sectors which has to be evaluated and discussed under tribology to overcome the problems which are in existence. And as they first gave the entire description related to the what are the basic mechanisms which usually comes into when a mechanical component is moving, how the interfacial behavior can be governed and analyzed. To substantiate these, which are the basic theories which are essential as a person to understand in order to analyze this interfacial behaviors. So these two sectors played a vital role, 1 and 2. So if one is thorough with these two basic mechanisms and basic theories, then he will be able to provide the solutions to any friction and wear problems. So these were the three sectors which were suggested by the UK Minister Committee people after doing the analysis that tribology should deal with these three basic segments so that it will help in solving the problems associated with. So this was decided in the year 1966. And later, by 1981, a major breakthrough in tribological science existed. Why? It helped in the development of STM, which is called as scanning tunnel microscope, and systematic theory based on quantum mechanics. Because by the year 1981, these two were developed. One is the use of scanning tunneling microscope. Nowadays, we just use scanning electron microscope. That was not there in the year 1981, which is called as SEM. Right? To analyze the material property, we need some morphology, right? So that can be extracted either through SEM or STM. So at the beginning, they got scanning tunneling microscope so that it helps in analyzing the material characteristics, how it is when it is fabricated to some applications. And later, the contact mechanics was also evaluated, because we usually deal the wear and tear with respect to the contact movements, mechanical contact movements, right? So when you come into picture of the contact mechanics associated with it, it will be really well more comfortable to analyze the things related to our tribology aspects. So these two innovations by 1981 helped in order to overcome and understand in depth the concepts of tribology. And later, atomic force microscope was evaluated in 1985. So this is also one of the equipment which is used in order to measure the structural and functional properties of any material. Nowadays also people use this atomic force microscope. You can find in the laboratories of electrical characterization, structural characterization also. Okay. So this helps in determining the surface topography, the frictional force of any engineering surface which is coming into contact. So evolution of these sophisticated equipments and the theory on contact mechanics made a very good supporting background to substantiate, to understand and to evaluate the concepts of contacting system under the coining of the word tribology. Apart from that, AFM can also be used to study the adhesion, the scratching, the wear, the lubrication, the variation in surface temperatures and measurements of any elastic or plastic mechanical associated properties. So this is how the word tribology was coined and how its segments were established and how these segments were able to be evaluated by the supporting sophisticating equipments along with the theory part of contact mechanics. I hope the historical background is clear, guys. Hello, I need a response. Hello. Yeah. So once you know thank you, once you know the historical background, how the tribology got originated, you should now understand what is the need for tribology as a subject to be studied. Right. So this you have to understand. You know, friction, wear, and lubrication have been taught in many science and engineering classes, right? Even you have also studied friction, wear, and lubrication parts separately. But why there is a need to study this as a subject on the whole? Because it means empirically derived trends like friction force is proportional to the loading force, static friction is greater than kinetic friction, viscous friction in a fluid is proportional to the normal contact force. These are always often used as only the predictive tools which are available. Okay, so these approaches usually have the drawback because they are just used only in the form of predictive way over a limited range of parameters. You cannot extend this predictive tools for analyzing for a larger range of parameters. It has its own restriction. It has to come out of the boundary to solve the problem which is needed in our subject tribology. So separately, these tools cannot be used for a longer range of parameters. And hence, many physical mechanisms are not well understood. And often we do not even know which are the important parameters over which we need to analyze and how to do the validity part of it. And as a result, to identify all these lacunas and to establish and evaluate for the longer range of parameters is really complicated. And to get solved, we need some interconnections. And interconnections is really related to the friction, wear, the lubrication, and the bearings, which are all associated in a moving contact system. And hence, to understand all these together, interlink that to a common problem of a contacting system is necessary. So all these concepts will help you together to solve a particular problem when a body is in movement, when there is a contact between two components of a mechanism. Okay, so all these concepts are dealt in our subject tribology. So I told you tribology is an integration of like 3 to 4 multidisciplinaries disciplines. So, and due to understanding of all the problems associated with the contacting systems, we need the integration of different subjects. So you have studied solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, material science, and some part of chemistry in your first year. So all these are very essential subjects which has to be interlinked. So you'll come to know how each and every subject plays a vital role in solving a particular problem or in designing a particular contact system with reduced amount of friction and wear, and how to select a beautiful graded lubricant of which type of viscosity you need. So all these are essential. For that, you should be well versed with solid mechanics, fluid, material science, chemistry, and thermodynamics. So what does solid mechanics does? Have you studied solid mechanics? Hello? Hello? Have you studied solid mechanics? I need a response, please. Are you people alive? Good morning.
Yes, ma'am, we've studied in third semester.
Okay, what does it deal with?
It deals with the solid bodies, their motion and deformation.
Okay, for what purpose it is used?
To analyze the stress acting on a body and how much stress a body can take, and how much it is deforming, so that we can analyze the properties of the particular shape and the body.
Yeah, so some part of it, what you told us, right? So basically, solid mechanics usually focuses on the contact stresses and deformations, which usually comes into picture when any component is rolling or sliding. Even the surface temperature associated with it also plays a vital role. So these part of things will be studied in solid mechanics, which is also an important sector what we need to consider apart from friction, wear and lubrication. So the subject of solid mechanics is also very essential. Next, coming to fluid mechanics. So in fluid mechanics, we have studied about the static fluid, the dynamic fluid, the many kind of equations related to it, how do you do the analysis, everything. So here, basically, we will focus this concept now to our subject, tribology. So in this tribology, the part of fluid mechanics which help us is to study of the lubricant film, which is formed between various geometric shapes of any rolling and sliding surface, because when you have a rolling or sliding surface, it helps the body to in movement. So when the body is in movement for a continuous period of time, you know that friction will come into picture, wear will come into picture. To overcome, we use lubricant. So it depends upon which grade of lubricant you are using, what is the viscosity level of that lubricant. So when it is continuously running, in between you have a lubricant, it forms a lubricant film. So the formation of the lubricant film is of what thickness, is of which type, all will depend upon the exact geometrical shape of this rolling and sliding surface. So fluid mechanics will help in studying this part of it. Then we'll come to the material science. So what is material science? Again, is a huge area. It has its own sectors like materials, its classification, phase diagrams, right? How do you characterize the material properties? How do you evaluate the material properties, right? So how do you mix the composition to get the required stoichiometric one? Or once it is done, synthesized, how do you characterize by using different equipments? So all these are with respect to our material science subject. So in related to tribology, it will focus on atomic and micro scale mechanisms. When you visualize through SEM, TEM, या AFM, that helps to analyze the material at atomic level, in micro level and also in nano level. Now, if you use STEM, you can evaluate the characteristics of the material even in nano level. So using of these equipments will help in analyzing in depth the how does the atomic and the micro scale mechanism comes into picture in any solid surface. So when these rolling surfaces are in contact for a longer period of time, if wear happens, there might be solid surface degradation which has been happening. So you should understand how to overcome this. For that, you should take a morphology of the surface which was in contacting surface. So that helps to identify how the surface is degrading. If it is degrading, what the alteration could be done, or which are the other type of relative motions which could be added so that the surface degradation can be reduced. So all these things you can analyze by seeing the morphology of the surface which was in contact for longer period of time. So this we can study with the help of our material science background. This you will be using when you go for surface engineering. Hopefully in the module 5, this material science concept will be very helpful for you. So next is part of chemistry, what you have studied until 12th and in your first year of engineering. So this chemistry part will help you to deal with the relativity, the reactivity between the lubricants and the solid surface. So when there is a continuous movement in rolling or sliding surfaces, right, the surface comes in contact, some degradation happens, some wear happens, some friction also comes into picture. So there'll be some reactivity which will be going on in between the lubricant what you have applied across the surface which is in contact. So this reactivity between the lubricants and the solid surface could be beautifully analyzed by using our subject chemistry. So last part what you should be aware of is about thermodynamics. You have studied applied thermodynamics also, so you'll be very good in that. So no need to me explain it again specifically. So all the concepts related to heat and mass transfer which comes into picture in fluids could be analyzed in thermodynamics. Here fluid is nothing but the lubricant what you will be applying along the contacting surface. So when it is running in for a longer period of time, you apply the lubricant which is nothing but a fluid. Due to longer run, even the temperature of the lubricant might increase. So all the factors associated with the heat and mass transfer when the solid surface is in contact. So these aspects could be verified, justified, and some suggestions can be given if any major problem is associated with it. So all these subjects club together to solve a single problem in our tribology, and hence our tribology is called to be as an interdisciplinary area. Okay, so this is the need. So same thing here. So I have just given an example for solid mechanics, so which helps in deriving the expressions of the contacting surfaces related to any deformation or whatever. Similarly, the material science and chemistry, it will help in determining the morphology of the surface as well as the reaction which is coming into picture in between the surface and the lubricant what you have applied, and again the fluid mechanics, right, when the roller is been sliding or been moving and you have the lubricant layer in between. So how the process will takes place. Okay, so that will be understood by using our fluid mechanics, right? So this is about the need. So first we dealt about the historical background, and then we understood what is the need for studying the tribology as a subject. Okay, so now you should understand, like, what do you mean by tribology? I have told you in the beginning class, no need for me to repeat. So it is a subject which is derived from a Greek word. Tribos means rubbing. So rubbing with respect to any contacting surface. Okay. So, and also I have explained you, it is a science which deals with all these factors: friction, lubrication, wherever contacting pairs comes into picture. And as a result, tribology knowledge is very much essential to improve our service life related to domestical application or industrial or any company and organization, to safeguard the safety and reliability of the machine components. Based on how good the company's tribology is, based on that you can evaluate how reliable a machine component is. Suppose a machine component will be established many long years back, If you have used a pakka proper materials using required properties and you have manufactured as per the ISO standard, and if the maintenance of it has been going on very well, and if it is calibrated properly if needed periodically, then you can rely on that machine component for a longer period of time. Even though it is old, you can rely on the results or the output given by that particular machine component. For that, the tribology aspect of that machine component should be very well established. Sometimes you say the new equipment, the new machine component which is purchased is not reliable. Sometimes it shows one reading and sometimes it shows some other. That shows that there is some problem related to either all the factors what we have dealt until now, right? So it always plays a vital role in knowing the keen idea and the knowledge about our tribology. Okay, so this is just an example of carbon graphite seal. It is just written as C here. I'm sorry, it is not fully written. So what's happening here? So it is just an example of carbon graphite seal. So this is employed usually to avoid any leakage which comes across the steam from rotary joints in a paper industry. So what they do is they'll be having the pulp of the paper. So they need this type of carbon graphite seal to overcome and to drain and to get the required quality of the paper. So sometimes some failure occurs in the components due to the adhesive wear. So where the adhesive wear causes is, adhesive wear causes across the uneven surface. Okay, so you can see here the uniformly plated carbon graphite seal. So when the uneven surface comes into picture, it leads to the reduction in mechanical contact area. So you have some uniformity here, and again it is having some slant areas here, the carbon graphite seal. So this results in reduction in the mechanical contact area. Okay, so this type of variations will result in variation or increase or reduction in the level of stress, and hence there will be chance of failure because it will be rotating. You will be having the pulp of the paper, it will drain and it will get the required pulp in order to manufacture the paper. Okay, so it should be an uniform layer thickness. Sometimes due to a longer use of run, the internal area which is covered by graphite seal can be ruptured. Okay, so there will be an uneven variation even in the internal surface here. So what happens? There will be no uniformity among the quantity of the pulp which is being added. So when it rotates, it will pass through the rough surface which is erupted, so that you will be having an variation and increase in the stress, and there will be chances of failure in getting and required quality of paper when this is being rotated. Okay, and also the leakages can come into picture if you have any what we call the rupture across the surface resulted by the wear during the rotation. Also it results in the leakage. So all these things have to be avoided. So this could be avoided if we use our tribological concept. Okay, so next is pitting of an cam surface. So this is example 2. Okay, so this is related usually in the pitting wear on the cam surface. So what happens here is the cams, these are basically used to transmit the rotatory motion into the reciprocatory motion. So when this rotatory motion is transferred to reciprocatory motion, these components are usually subjected to some kind of jerks which happens suddenly. Okay, so it again varies on what is the sliding distance it is moving. So it can also lead to the formation of pit across the surface. This is the formation of the pit across the surface. So once this pit is created on the surface, it results in noise pollution, and also it reduces the performance of what it has to do exactly. So in order to overcome this small kind of activities which is coming as a disturbance, it is necessary to understand the mechanism of pit formation. I told you, tribology helps you to understand the basic mechanisms when a component is moving. So it is very essential to understand the mechanism of the pit formation. So if you do this with the help of tribology, it will help to estimate the life of an component. what it is, how it can be fine-tuned if it is facing large amount of problem, and find the methods to solve and reduce these pitting failures in future. Okay, so these are the way how we can analyze the problem associated to any contacting surface if you understand the tribological aspect better. Next is journal bearing. So you have an abrasive wear resulting, and this is the rubbing wear, okay, which is happening in a journal bearing. So these are the two examples what we are considering under journal bearing. So left hand side is a photograph of centrally grooved engine. Okay, so it appears. Hello. Yeah, yeah.
What slide are you on, ma'am?
I am on
Slide
journal
number?
bearing.
We can only see need for tribology as a subject.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not seeing.
No.
You
Now
are.
we changed it.
Okay, when I put it into slide mode, I think it was not visual for you. You would have told me before, no?
Now we saw. Yes.
Okay, so did you see need?
Mom, after need, we have to see, ma'am.
After need, it didn't change, ma'am.
Okay, tribology you saw, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, tribology I've explained you in the yesterday class also. I hope you have listened my voice. So tribology, I have told you that it was derived from the word Greek word tribo, which means rubbing. So usually this subject helps in dealing with all the aspects of tribology, which is friction, lubrication, and wear when a contacting system comes into picture. So if you understand the tribological knowledge in depth, it improves the service life of any component, the safety, and it can improve the reliability aspect of any interactive machine component. And finally, it helps in substantial economical benefits related to those products. And it can also improve the GDP growth because the component could be in the market for a longer period of time with reduced amount of wear, tear, and maintainability. So this is the aspect of tribology. So one of the example here, what I was telling is the carbon graphite seal. Okay, so this is a carbon graphite seal which is used in the paper industry. So the pulp of the paper will be added here and it will be employed in order to get the rotary joints being rotated until the pulp, the wet pulp is being dried. Okay, so due to this movement, it usually come across adhesive wears. So this adhesive wears comes in the mechanical contact area to which it is added, fixed. Okay, so to overcome this problem, it is essential in order to reduce the amount of stress which is coming into the picture. What happens is you can see a uniform surface inside here in the carbon graphite seal. So there will be a coating of the carbon graphite. If it is not uniform, if you have any variations across the surface, it results in forming some rough surface in between so that there will be variation in the cross-sectional area. So due to this variation and the rough surface across the rotary motion, it will result in the uneven level of stresses. So due to this uneven level of stresses, there will be a chance of failure. So you cannot use this carbon graphite seal for a longer run. So you can tell that it has to be changed. It is resulting in variation in the stresses. We cannot extract the pulp, the dry pulp at a proper time. And suppose you add some quantity of paper pulp here and you're not able to extract the equivalent amount of dry paper pulp after this rotary motion using the carbon graphite seal. So if you study the concept of tribology well, you can overcome to get rid of these adhesive wear which come in rotary motion and also to get a uniform area of the surface even in the rotary motion because the heat which comes into picture in rotary motion, all those things have to be taken care. So this is one example what I was telling. So next was the pitting of a cam surface. Okay, so here across the cam surface, usually what happens is you use the cam in order to transmit the rotary motion into the reciprocatory motion. So during the movement, sudden jerks can happen. So when it is sliding, okay, suddenly. So even that happens in case of a robot arm. So you design a robot arm for a free movement to pick from one end and to drop at the other end. Suddenly, due to some variations, you can feel some jerks coming out. Similarly, even in the cam surface also, if sudden jerks comes into picture, it leads in the formation of some pits across the cam surface. So you can see some variations which is forming across the cam surface. So if these pits are formed, obviously it will increase the noise. And once the noise is increased, the mechanical performance of that cam surface reduces. So you can use the concept of tribology to understand what is the mechanism behind the formation of the pit. So how you can overcome or how you can solve this problem and reduce such kind of pitting failures which comes into picture. So this was about our example 2. And next, I just wanted to tell you about the journal bearings. So these are the type of wear which is coming across in the journal bearing. One is the abrasive wear and the second one is the rubbing wear. So these are the two examples. So left hand side, what you see in the photograph is obtained due to centrally grooved engine journal bearing. So when when an engine journal bearing is centrally grooved, you will come into picture of abrasive type of wear. Okay, and so it appears that bearing is worn out due to some foreign particles. So you can see here the bearing has been worn out due to some foreign particles. So right hand side of the photograph is an aluminium based bearing surface. So this is an aluminium based bearing surface where the rubbing wear is coming into picture. It is happening because it is subjected to heavy load. So when the heavy load is applied, it results in causing rubbing wear. So these are caused due to the shaft surface on which it will be rolling out. Because the inner surface, you'll be having the shaft through which the bearing will be having its movement. So due to that, the rubbing wear will be coming across in case of aluminium type of journal bearing. So in these examples of journal bearing, wear is increasing. So the clearance between the shaft and the bearing will lead to some reduction in the load support. So you should be having a proper clearance between the shaft and the bearing, so that when it is run in a longer period of time, this type of wearing which increases could be reduced to some extent. And also the load bearing capacity have to be fine tuned by the bearing. If it is more than the load bearing capacity also, this rubbing wear usually comes into picture. So these kind of failures which usually occur in the absence of not using the lubricant hydrodynamic film thickness. Okay, always you know that when you design a shaft and the bearing, you will usually provide a clearance. Why a clearance is provided? Because when you apply a lubricant in between the motion, it results in the formation of a lubricant film. I told you about that also. So the lubricant film which forms will be of certain thickness. So that lubricant film thickness should be able to fit between the what we call the bearing and the contact, the bearing and the shaft. So if you don't have the proper clearance, that amount of clearance could not be able to fit this lubricant film. If that clearance is provided, so the lubricant what you apply will help in creating that hydrodynamic film, so that the rubbing wear will not come into picture. So this is where again our tribological aspect comes into picture. So this is what being told. So learning tribology will help in solving all these kind of problems. Next is magnetic bearing. So this is the wear scar here, which has been occurring across the edge. Okay, so why it's happening? The magnetic bearings are known as non-contact leviations. You know the magnetic bearing, it attracts towards it and get the required contact. It is not that it will be rolling continuously like any other component, but still wear scar is occurring in magnetic bearing. Why? It is due to non-contact leviations. So in this figure, just a second, I'm getting a call. ಹಲೋ, ಹಾ, ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು? ಸರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಒಂದು 10 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, 10 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. I'm sorry, there was a call from the office I was supposed to take. So in magnetic bearing, the losses due to wear are usually occurred due to non-contact deviations. So in this figure, you can see an repulsive type of magnetic bearing with a wear scar here, which has been shown. How it occurs? It is occurred due to the improper design and the external noise factors which are associated when you use a magnetic bearing. Okay, so when a bearing is failed within 3 hours of operation at a relative speed of 115 rpm, this is a constraint which is being told. So bearing will be failed within 3 hours of operation. If it is being revolved at a relative speed of 115 rpm, this kind of wear scar occurs into the picture. Okay, so this type of magnetic bearing should also be avoided. So likewise, there are few examples. Okay, I'll just cover these examples. And then you have a multi-roller bearing. So here usually you can see some of the cracking of the outer ring of the bearing as shown in the figure. So here cracking means it is deep cracks. It is not like some part it has been cracked. No, it is a deep crack which has penetrated until the down and which has breaked open the entire ring itself into n number of pieces. You can see it is broken into 2-3 pieces also, right? So this type of failure occurs due to faulty manufacturing and wrong assembly of the roller bearing. If the components are not assembled properly in a roller bearing, and if it is not manufactured properly, or else if the material what you have used to, even though the design is good, if the material what you have used to manufacture is not able to substantiate the load, if you have done a wrong design and manufactured also, you can say that this type of failure occurs. So it is directly called a faulty manufacturing. It is not due to the operation or due to any lack in operating all those stuff. It is directly a faulty design and manufacturing. Or it could be in wrong assemblies of different dimensions. By force you have made it into a roller bearing, right? So it results in this type of damages. So tribological relation usually helps in estimating the increase in the contact stresses due to some misalignment of the shaft and improper mounting of the bearing surface. So this subject helps you to identify where the increase in the stresses which has been happening in the contact stresses. When the stress increases only, the failure occurs. If the stress developed is able to withstantiate, right, and when it can be reduced with the help of application of lubricant, it moves on smoothly. If at particular area the contact stresses are very high, which is unbearable, then only the failure occurs. So all these things, why it's happening, everything could be analyzed by using our tribology. Hence, an approximation on reduction in the service life can be estimated. So once you design, you manufacture, you will determine what is the reliability factor of that machine, for how long years it can be used. So based on its lifespan, you can also establish its service life period. And if that kind of problem comes into picture, the failure and all, it will reduce its service life only. So the tribological aspect will also help to tell approximately what is the service life of this component if you use this type of materials, if you follow this type of assembly, if you follow this type of design. Okay, and if you're not following and if you're doing some variations, then it can also approximately tell you that what is the reduction you get in the service life of this particular device if you're going with different materials. Okay, so all this type of calculations, analysis could be done by using our tribology subject. So next is gear. Again, the pits on the gear teeth, right? So a pit on a surface of the gear teeth is shown here in figure 1.6. you know that the pit generally occurs due to excessive contact stresses. So when it is moving continuously and you're not applying the lubricant, or the applied lubricant is not able to make an required hydrodynamic lubricant film due to lack of clearance between the contacting surface, it results in the formation of stresses, that too high contact stresses. So due to high contact stresses, it results in the formation of pits. Okay, so these are the pits which are formed across the surface. So this pits again makes the given gear a scrap and it cannot be used. So it should be overcome. So again, you have to analyze what is the mechanism behind the pit formation, how to overcome it. You have to provide a solution to it, how it should be rectified, whether at the material level, whether at the operation level, or whether at the manufacturing level. You should think and overcome and solve the problem. So these are the few examples where tribology is playing a vital role related to our mechanical part. Okay. So as a result, tribology will be having a large amount of applications also. So we are just focusing on the very keen areas. So study of fluid film bearings, rolling element bearings, seals, gears, cams and brakes. So these are all some of the applications in which tribology is required and essential, and people nowadays are using also. In the very long years before 1960s, there were no concept of tribology. People were just working based on some lubrication. Okay, we'll apply some lubrication, we will overcome the problem and do it. No, but still at that time the components which were made was not of high reliable and the service life of it was very low. After introducing the tribology, it helped to enhance all these parameters, and nowadays all the industries which are making this contact type of machine components usually follow all the concepts of tribology. So some of the examples we have dealt already related to the bearings, seals and gates also. We just dealt about the cam surface also where tribology could be applied. So basic knowledge what you gain by tribology course is very useful for industries related to power industries, steel, cement, oil, etc. So if you go to any companies related to power, steel, cement and oil, obviously you should be thorough with this subject tribology. So it will help you very much when you go as an engineer to the industries in these allied sector. And if you are, along with the theoretical aspect, if you have a keen knowledge on practical oriented thing, you will learn this practical aspects when you take a real time problem and solve it in the form of a case study. So practicing this kind of problems in one or the other way will enhance your knowledge in solving the problems, and sometimes even you can apply this on some domestic applications also. So it will help to finally improve or enhance the economic benefit of our society only, directly or indirectly. It can be in industries, your organization, or even it can be related to domestic applications. Therefore, tribology course, what we are studying now, can also be claimed as an industrial tribology or applied tribology, because you're not keeping the subject tribology to yourself. You have to apply it to something. Then only you will be able to get the problem solved. So you will take a problem, you will apply the concept of tribology and you provide a solution. It is just like a consultancy type of work where many consultancy organizations are working out. But you won't do any consultancy for this. You can just apply the knowledge and solve the problem. And even there are many companies who are not able to solve this type of problems. They are outsourcing to some small companies who are good enough in this tribological aspect. So they provide the solution. So they will pay the money for them, they will outsource, and they will provide us this where the faulty things in your components. If you do like this will be solved. But instead of doing that, you can hired the people who are very much good enough and have good concept of knowledge related to tribology, as a professional. So within the company also that could be uh, checked out right from the beginning when a component has been manufactured. As you have a project manager in a company, a team leader in a company, and a supervisor head under different sectors, if you have a professional under tribological aspects, so he'll be able to look out after all these so that it helps you to improve the service life of that machine component, and it can enhance the reliability aspect of that machine component, so that it finally helps in upliftment of the sales of the particular rolling, yeah, contacting any surface machine components, and improve the GDP of it also, and help for the mankind in the society. So these are about the applications of our tribology. So from next class, we will start up with the lubricants. So currently, I will just stop my presentation at this stage. From the second class, we were supposed to take the quizzes. So now, since it is the first module started today, I'm not taking the quiz. From next class, you will be having exactly 45 minutes of class and remaining 10 minutes for quiz. So please attend and listen sincerely. Okay, so by today, I will create the Google Classroom. I will share the code to you all. So all of you please register to the Google Classroom by your official email ID. I'm telling you this again second time. Kindly register using official email ID and join to the Google Classroom also with your official email ID. So now Balaji, you're present. All of you write your name and USN in the chat room and answer me for the attendance. Balaji,
Yes, ma'am.
Gautam, Sagar,
Yes, ma'am.
Sagar. Yeah, Gautam is absent then. Prajwal.
Ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning. Roshan,
Yes, ma'am.
Anil.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Rishabh,
Yes, ma'am.
Harshit. Harshit, you are there. Harshit is absent then. Kanishka Reddy,
Yes, ma'am.
Gautam Sai,
Present, ma'am.
Kolepura Shri, Naga Murali,
Yes, ma'am.
Kunal Rajkiran,
Present, ma'am.
Meghanatha Prasad,
Present, ma'am.
Shri Prasad, Shri Prasad is absent. Niharika,
Yes, ma'am.
Nihar,
Yes, ma'am.
Nikhil, Nikhil is absent. Nirab.
Ma'am, he
Yes,
doesn't have
ma'am.
mic, ma'am. Please check the chat.
Okay. Prajwal.
Ma'am, some of the others also don't have mic. I think that's why they're not answering.
Okay. At least those who have mic, kindly let me know. Ranveer Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Rasik, Rishabh, Rohan,
Ma'am.
yeah, Roshan,
Yes, ma'am.
Sumant,
Present, ma'am.
Sagar Datta and Sagar GB, both of you.
Present.
Present, ma'am.
Sanjay Raghav, yeah, Sanjay Raghav,
Present, ma'am.
Shiv Pavan, Shobit,
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas, Salu, Subramanya, Tirumani Setti Rohan,
Yes, ma'am.
Ullas,
Present, ma'am.
Vidyan,
Present, ma'am.
Vivian, Varun,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan,
Present, ma'am.
and Yogananda.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, those who don't have.
Ma'am, you didn't call out my name, ma'am.
Okay, Danush,
Yes, ma'am.
and who else?
Ma'am, Akram.
My name also, ma'am.
Yeah,
Chaitanya.
Akram,
Ma'am, my name also, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Chaitanya.
ma'am, there are two Dhanush.
Okay, okay, fine. Anyhow, you have typed your USN in the chat room, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll consider through it. Fine. Hope you are understanding the concepts.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so please take care and listen properly. From next class, sure, we'll be conducting the quizzes. So today, now it's already 9:30. Since it was the first module, first day, I'm just leaving without quiz. Fine. So take care. Have a nice day. See you in the next class then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Bye-bye.